Sing a song, Sweethaht.
What?
What you got for us? Fuck it. On the wings of love.
I had one, but I think it's Nelly, and I don't know if we
not fucking with Nelly.
I don't know.
Well, sing a Beyonce song. She won a Grammy. Okay. Go ahead.
Why am I forgetting every Beyonce song ever created?
Damn. You don't know no Beyonce country songs?
I mean, I do, but
Interesting insight.
I didn't say that. I do.
Are we on?
Yeah, I was just waiting for the Instagram to.
All right, well, let's go ahead and.
We are. Yeah, we are.
Let's go ahead and start the show. Good morning, and good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. ish. Spark you up, oh blunt. Let's get high in this bitch. Wait, no. Wake and bake with BeMo. Yeah. Good morning. Before we say anything, I want to say good morning. But shoot, I'm just all over the place. Welcome back to another episode of Wake and Bake with BeMo. This is your chance to get updated on all things black through the new blueprints of blackness, for black, to black, towards black, in black, around black, all the prepositions of blackness. I'm your host, BeMo. But before we move on to another moment, I want to say good morning to the hair tie of my messy bun, okay? Good morning to the operating streaming service of my heart, all right? Good morning to the lady of the house. Good morning, lady of the house.
Good morning, Sweethaht. I was about to call you BeMo, but it felt weird. So.
That's weird. So it's Sweethaht.
The beat didn't even come out.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Hey,
what's up?
How are you?
How you doing? What you doing?
I'm just making sure. It seemed a little dark.
Seem a little dark?
It says it's on auto.
Well, you know what I say.
Okay.
Live production's the hardest thing I've ever done. Maybe turn the the temperature of the light cooler so it can appear more brighter.
Let's see.
Did it change
I think
thing? So. All right. As always, we want to give a huge shout out to my people over at the Washington Reformer Bridge, wibridgedc.com, or at wibridgedc on all social media platforms. Make sure you go check them out so they can tell you what's going on in black culture on a very journalistic level. The things happening in DC right now are very exciting and exhilarating. I just want to make sure that y'all have the proper sources to make sure you know what the fuck you're talking about when things are going on. I also want to give a huge shout out to my man Trevor, who was telling us who the niggas in nature are. Trevor, if you don't mind hooking us up with a little lesson real quick.
You know Jim and Jane Crow at the national parks too, right?
Elaborate, my nigga.
So boom, we either weren't allowed in a lot of these parks, or we had other ones on some color fountain type energy.
The caucasity to think you can own nature.
Exactly, bruh. We've been conditioned to think that these parks are some white people shit because white people ain't want to send them.
Nah, that's crazy.
And we ain't even talking about the ones we built yet.
Built? What?
Appreciate y'all for that. Sweethaht, if you could do me a quick favor, let's play the intro one more time. I'm gonna go live on Instagram. We'll be right back. All right, my bad, y'all. I just wanted to make sure our people on Instagram knew that we were here. If you're on Instagram, we are coming at you a little differently this morning. We're going to try to get you to transition over to YouTube. All right, we got a great show for you this morning, per usual. So awesome things we want to talk about. We want to talk about why I was in the club this past weekend. We're definitely going to talk about that. We're going to talk about one of the internet's finest people, and I don't mean that physically. I'm talking about Dr. Bryant. And we're also going to have a conversation about this brewing controversy or the safety or the establishment of Hillman Tok University. So stick around for that. But because it is Tuesday, I want to make sure that all my people know that we are grounded in some type of fact. We're going to have Sweethaht's Black Fact. Come on, Sweetheart. Tell us what the news is.
Oh, you forgot one thing.
What'd I forget?
New blueprint news.
And before I forget, which I already did, Lady House has reminded me, I want to make sure that y'all go over to the new Blueprint newsletter. Okay, we have some exclusive drops happening over there, BeMoBrown.substack.com. Definitely check out that growing platform. It is one of our more successful platforms that we release some content on the show. It is $5 a month if you want some of that exclusive situations. We will have a written machination about something we're going to talk about today on the show, in case you're interested in that. But definitely go over to BeMoBrown.substack.com to get on the new Blueprint newsletter. Thank you, sweetheart, for that. Mm-hmm. Are you ready for the Sweethaht's Black Facts?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay. The Brazilian Emancipation Proclamation of 1888 freed all of the slaves on the day of promulgation. The British Emancipation of 1834, not until 4 years later, while the American Emancipation Proclamation of 1863, when issued, quote-unquote, freed those slaves whom Abraham Lincoln had no power to free and permitted the continued enslavement of those whom he had the power to free.
Wait, what?
Let me read it again?
Yeah, read it again.
The Brazilian Emancipation Proclamation of 1888 freed all of the slaves on the day of promulgation. The British Emancipation of 1834, not until 4 years later, while the American Emancipation Proclamation of 1863, when issued, quote-unquote, freed those slaves whom Abraham Lincoln had no power to free and permitted the continued enslavement of those whom he had the power to free.
Damn.
And the
Go
context
ahead. Give me the context.
Let's see. The British Emancipation Proclamation allowed the masters to keep their slaves as apprentices. They were not really free until 1838. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation permitted the retention of the slaves in those slave states which were fighting for the Union, as well as in those parishes and counties in sympathy with him. He also excluded Tennessee, hoping that it would join the Union. In the words of the proclamation, these states were to continue holding their slaves precisely as if this proclamation were not issued. And this was from the proclamation of January 1st, 1863. Slavery was abolished not by the Emancipation Proclamation, but by the 13th Amendment on December 31st, 1865, 8 months after Lincoln's death.
So, where did we get the idea that Lincoln freed the slaves? Was that just
question.
Just propaganda?
I think so.
Was it to make himself look like he had freed the slaves? Mm-hmm. That's a very interesting fact, especially knowing you told me earlier that Lincoln's birthday is coming up.
Yeah.
That the original Negro History Week is based on the birthdays of Lincoln and Carter G. Woodson.
Yeah.
So it's negotiating these two individual histories. So when people ask you and people tell you like, oh, why is February the shortest month for Black History Month? First, you tell them to shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Secondly, you say it's based on Negro History Week, which is based on the birthdays of the founder of Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson, and Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, who didn't free the slaves. So why the fuck was Carter G. Woodson?
Great question. It's funny because I see a fact about Carter G. Woodson like right
What's it say?
before
Go
this
ahead.
one. In 1860, there were 487,000 free Negroes in the United States, some of whom owned slaves. C.D. Wilson estimates that there were 6,230 Negro slaveholders. The tax returns of Charleston, South Carolina for 1860 showed 132 Negro slaveholders with 390 slaves. The Negro slaveholders, like the white ones, fought to keep their chattels in the Civil War. And then...
Whoa.
Oh, okay. So I guess Carter G. Woodson wrote something about this,
Okay.
and he gives the names of the slaveholders. The U.S. Census of 1790 showed 195 Negro slaveholders, of whom 6 were in Connecticut and 9 in New York. In 1830, there were about 4,500 Negro slaveholders. In 1836, slaves owned by Negroes in New Orleans numbered 640. On Negro slaveholders, see Popular Science Monthly, October 1912, Carter G. Woodson.
October 1912. All right, let me go pull that up real quick. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate that, Sweethaht. As always, I think we need these. I think we need these facts to make sure that we are still grounded in some type of reality. Because boy, I'm telling you, it's slipping. Yeah. It's slipping. I'm pretty sure that book will be banned quite soon. Okay.
I don't know why the comments aren't showing up, but I did see we had Detroit Rivers in the house. He said, "Good morning."
Detroit Rivers is in the house. I don't know. Maybe left click and refresh it. We having a tough tech day. I see. We're having a tough tech day. That's okay. Cause we gonna pull it together. We gonna get it together.
Hey.
See, boom, kapow. All right. Hillman Tok University. What do you say?
Why Lincoln always rapping like he trying to free the slaves?
I don't know.
I
don't know. And something about Lincoln rapping just made me mad at Lin Miranda again. So I'm gonna move on before my blood pressure go up. I'm gonna go ahead and move on up. All right, let's do this. I want to talk about Hillman Tok University. Okay, so I don't know if people have been paying attention or if you're still on TikTok, but there has been a new movement that is happening on that platform. And actually this movement is happening directly after the TikTok ban has been lifted. There have been some black creators and black professors who have noticed that their educational content has made a spike since the reopening of TikTok. If I were to classify this in my 2025 predictions, I would say this would fall into the predictions of being a tunnel year. We're going to run towards each other. And so there is a young lady, Lady House is going to pull up this article. There's a young lady who has founded this Hillman Tok University movement. It started off as TikTok University as a hashtag and then moved over to Hillman Tok University because of its focus on black studies. And now that has turned into an organizing apparatus called Hillman Tok University online, something of that nature. Lady House, if you don't mind, that's the highlighted part I wanted to get to, but you can, I forgot the young lady's name, so you can definitely read the beginning of the article and then get to a highlighted portion.
Is this just a picture?
No, it's an interact. It's not interacting?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
See, Hinton is the last name. Do you remember her first name?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
But what I want to do is I want to give a fair introduction to Hillman Tok University. I want to go through their highlight reel, some of the things that people are saying about them. I want to talk about some of the concerns and why Hillman Tok feels a little off to me, and then we're going to have a conclusion, and maybe even, I forgot to do this, but we'll have a conclusion, and then we'll talk about other platforms that are doing the same things while implementing different measures. So, Sweethaht, go ahead.
Am I reading the
yeah, just go ahead and read that. Yeah.
Okay. We just started building the lore around what is now Hillman Tok, she explains. She said the name was inspired by the fictional but incredibly influential university the 1980s and 90s sitcom A Different World was set in. In less than 2 weeks, Hillman Tok has commanded a huge following. To date, the tag Hillman Tok boasts 100 million mentions. 100 million plus mentions. Professors and subject matter experts, including renowned hip-hop journalist Teray Niblet, have now started to share their own college course under the Hillman Tok University moniker.
So just as a recap, remember Hillman Tok is a hashtag, but is a collection of different courses or videos that teach you different parts of black culture. So that's what's been happening on Hillman Tok University. I think I'm saying too much. I want to let some of the professors and some of the highlighters and people who enjoy Hillman Tok do some of the talking. To my people who are on Instagram, come on over to YouTube. We having a bad Instagram day. You're not getting the best of the live today. We're gonna show this clip from the highlight reel, some scrolling I did and I found on TikTok. Not on TikTok, it was on Threads, but it's a TikTok compilation of Hillman Tok University.
Just in case if nobody saw this, we do have the Assata Shakur School of Justice
the idea that average Americans don't want to learn, the myth, I should say, has been busted by TikTok University. Because isn't it amazing how much people want to learn when the education is free and accessible? And even to a certain extent, it's not even just TikTok University. How many people ran out and learned Mandarin in a matter of days because they were on an app?
Hello class, my name is Professor Kwanzaa, and I'm so excited to welcome you to Black Culture, History, and Traditions 204. Now,
good afternoon, Hillman Tok University. I am Professor Nakia Peck, and welcome to Jazz Studies 101. I'm excited to have all the new students this semester, and if you're interested in signing up for this course, please leave a message in the comment section. Thanks.
Hi class, I'm hi, I'm Abiola Agoro, and I will be your teacher for Intro to Resistance 101. Now, I know that, this semester there has been a lot going on when it comes to registration and course availability, but here we're a little bit less put together, so we have a lot more room. So I'll be accepting any and all students that choose to sign up this semester. I'm really excited for us to dive deep into the history of all things resistance. We'll be reading some of my current favorites and old favorites. So I hope you all will join me. You can sign up at this link below. Classes will start next week, and I think I may have broken my toe, so I'm going to run to the emergency room, but no worries, we will be here with or without a boot. You do not have to worry. You can't see my feet anyways, actually, so it shouldn't really matter at all. Anyways, I'm so excited to meet all of you. So make sure you sign up, and yeah, all right. Bye, lovelies. I'll see you.
Okay, so I wanted to give a fair overview, not from like the celebrities who are on the platform or like Touré, who's using the hashtag to create these courses, which these courses are actually these courses are not just, because we don't like just. These courses are TikTok videos.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be honest with you, as I'm seeing some controversy happening around potential trademarks of the IP, which we'll talk about here in a second ago, as I'm hearing about the platform being hacked, I'm starting to have some concerns about Hillman Tok University. And I feel like it would be unfair if we didn't unpack them with some other systems and some other understandings and perspectives of how a university or even an informal institution puts together their education platform. And I want to see if we can find what makes me concerning about Hillman Tok and if there are any replacements per se, right? So I think to start off, I want to give them credit because this could be revolutionary. 100+ million mentions of the Hillman Tok University tag on TikTok. I saw earlier in that article, at one point it was 300+ million mentions in total, or interactions with the Hillman Tok University. So that includes videos, tags, mentions, comments, etc. This could be revolutionary, and I want to out front say that maybe my concern around Hillman Tok University has something to do with my age. Maybe my understanding of how informal and formal education system works could be based on my nostalgic past, right? You got to go to kindergarten, you got to go to first grade, you got to do the spelling bee, you got to do the state test, you got to sit down, you got to be quiet, you can't go to detention, you got to make sure you go to 7th period, don't be tardy to class, make sure you put your books in the locker. I'm talking about that type of formal education. So it's hard for me, the person who didn't have to do distance learning, it's hard for me to understand how a social media app could interface with an education situation, but I want to say that out front. I want to say that maybe I'm too old to understand this. Maybe this is not for me. Or maybe this is incredibly dangerous. It could be on this spectrum of things. It could be something revolutionary, it could be something very benign, or it could be something very dangerous, depending on who's using it and what it's being used for.
Right.
So let's talk about let's break this down. I have, I think, four concerns I want to talk about. I want to break this down concern by concern. The first thing I want to talk about is the medium of TikTok.
Okay.
Now, we all know that in 2020, our now president, who was then president, issued a executive order banning TikTok because of its dangerous relationship with China. Mm-hmm. Then in 2025, the same individual unbanned TikTok, regardless of the Supreme Court ruling that we'll talk about later. But beyond just TikTok itself, when I think about a social media platform, what is the outcome desired for each of the posters or each of the participants of a particular social media platform? What is the primary outcome for people who post on social media platforms? When they go and they look at their stats, what are they looking at? Are they looking at engagement? Are they looking at lessons learned? Are they looking at, who's also applying this in real life? Or is the outcome of social media likes, views, reposts, spicy comments that you can make remix comments with? What is the purpose of a social media account? That's my first concern. Secondly, Sweethaht, if you don't mind, put up I think it's Hillman 2 or Hillman 3, whichever one we're on right now is the picture. I want to talk about the symbology of Hillman Tok University. First of which, Hillman?
Yeah.
Hillman? I saw in the article the young lady referenced A Different World. Does she know who the creator of A Different World is? Does she know whose IP Hillman is belonging to? Right. If they are seeking to create a trademark, if they are seeking to monetize Hillman Tok, you're going to have to go through Bill Cosby.
Right.
I thought we was off Bill Cosby. And I feel like this type of support is way more engaging, way more supportive, way more legacy creating for this deplorable human than listening to his comedy albums. Yeah. You're going to take this same ideology, the same symbology, going to take this same person's thought process to the next generation? Interesting. Can we talk about Tok?
Okay.
Maybe I missed a memo. Or maybe I assumed something. I thought TikTok was bad for us. I thought once we found out that the ban was going to be unbanned by Donald Trump, once we found out that the algorithm would no longer be in free speech's nature, once we found out that maybe even the Hillman Tok's 100 million is probably suppressed from 1 billion, after we know these things, we still going to align revolutionary actions with Tok in the name? The colors of Hillman Tok are maroon and yellow because they are based on Hillman. Also interesting. I also want to go towards if we're doing revolutionary action in which we're trying to replace a system that has been known to suppress our voice and our perspective, is university even appropriate? Borrowing from the Roman and the Greek tradition of hierarchical education, even with these Roman flowers that we see around the badge of this panther. Is it revolutionary to still be using the same symbology of other institutions who are oppressing and marginalizing us? So Hillman's no good. Tok is no good. University is no good. She said she wanted a panther for the symbol based on T'Challa because she loves T'Challa. Does she know a white man created T'Challa? Interesting. So just looking at the symbology of Hillman Tok University with this panther, I I'm good.
That's crazy because she could have even said like the Panther represents the Black Panthers, but
Yeah. But she said her example of a Black Panther isn't Stokely Carmichael. Not
Right.
Stokely Carmichael. Isn't Huey P. Newton.
yeah.
Isn't Bobby Seale. No. It's T'Challa. It's Stan Lee's T'Challa. Interesting. So before I tear it all the way down, because like the symbology is not that great, I don't understand how the medium of social media could lead to an outcome outside of just desired views and engagement for said social media. But I still want to give it the benefit of the doubt because we'll talk about it later on in the episode. You can't just throw the whole thing away because there's certain things that are just wrong with it, inherently wrong. So here's what I want to do. I want to use the systems of another informal education platform and measure that against Hillman Tok University.
Okay.
All right? So as you should know by now, I used to work at the Boys and Girls Club. When I was a kid, my lifelong dream was to be a director of the Boys and Girls Club, like the directors of my Boys and Girls Club. I got the dream and then realized, there's so much more life that we could be having. While I was at the Boys and Girls Club, they had this thing called the Formula for Impact. The Formula for Impact is essentially like the Formula for Impact assessment is essentially the state test for the Boys and Girls Club. How do we measure that the things that we're doing in this Boys and Girls Club are actually beneficial for children? Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful system. In that Formula for Impact, they have the 5 key characteristics that you need for an informal education program. These are the 5 things that students must feel a part of in order to have a successful informal education system. So what I want to do, Sweethaht, let's go one by one. And I did them backwards for a reason. Let's go one by one and see if Hillman Tok checks off each one of these situations. What's the first one, Sweethaht?
Recognition.
Can you be recognized as a student of Hillman Tok University? Is there a way that you get awards? Can you be valedictorian? Can you be most improved? Are there superlatives? Is there an organized system in which students can be recognized for their work? Do you get a grade? Do you get feedback? Do you think that happens on Hillman Tok University on TikTok?
Probably not.
Is there homework? Or is there just presentations of videos? Presentations of perspectives? Or are they still just essentially TikTok videos, but we put a theme on them? Sorry. Second thing I want to talk about, opportunities and expectations. Once you are in Hillman Tok Universities, are there opportunities and expectations for you to grow? Can you progress? Can you go from the 4th grade to the 5th grade? Can you go from 101 to 102? Or is the naming system simply just a way to put in order your content? So is Black Education 101 really Black Education 101? Do you need these prerequisites to understand 102? Is there an opportunity for you to grow? Are there expectations for you to grow? Is there attendance? You think that happens? You think recognitions or opportunities and expectations happen on TikTok? Supportive relationships. I've seen a lot in the recent times how parasocial relationships are not replacements for in real life relationships. Mm-hmm. So these relationships that you're building with your professors on Hillman Tok University, are they really relationships? Or are they parasocial relationships, the kind that you find on, I don't know, social media? Mm-hmm. Got a lot of this morning. Second to last, fun. Is Hillman Tok University fun? You know what I can say on that one? I can absolutely say yes. Hillman Tok University is fun. The class name structure is fun. I looked through the course design this morning. It seems fun. It seems exciting. Hillman Tok University seems like a great time. And then lastly, and I think this might be the most important one, do we think that Hillman Tok University is a safe and positive environment? Sweetheart, if you don't mind, I'd like to bring up the Supreme Court, if you don't mind. If we could all go back to why the Supreme Court held up the banning of TikTok, I'd like to read you an interpretation of the law by a law firm I can't remember the name of. Matter of fact, I'm not going to read it. Later, I was going to read it. What you got, Sweethaht?
In TikTok's case, as established by the Supreme Court's decision, the app is classified as a foreign adversary-controlled application due to its ownership and control by ByteDance. Accordingly, the act bans the distribution, maintenance, or updates of TikTok in the U.S. unless ByteDance completes a qualified divestiture. This divestiture, I don't know if I'm saying that right, would require ByteDance to relinquish all direct and indirect control over TikTok's U.S. operations, ensuring its operational independence and preventing any future ties with ByteDance or other entities designated as foreign adversaries.
Right. So TikTok was banned by the Supreme Court because the platform, by law, has to report your data to our adversaries. Now, on Facebook, if you can remember, on Facebook before it turned to Meta, Russia was found to be manipulating American data to change the results of elections. Mm-hmm. We've not even in this prior election, we have found individuals like Tim Pool of the right-wing conservatives have actually been funded by Russian and adversarial parties to manipulate our perspectives against the American populace. BeMo, that seems so esoteric. How would they do that to black folks? I'm just saying there's a global danger here. The Supreme Court agrees there's a global danger here, unanimously, including our girl, Ketanji Brown Jackson. We have recently seen when researching this situation with Hillman Tok, the first video I see is that the co-founder of Hillman Tok has said, hey, y'all, we got to move to a different ad name because our account has been hacked. So there's a global threat, there's a local threat. Also, do you think it's all positivity on these courses on TikTok?
Probably not.
So if we went back to our formula for impact, Sweethaht, between recognition, opportunities and expectations, fun, supportive relationships, safe and positive environment. Of the 5, I'm going to ask you, because I just did all the explaining. Of the 5, Sweethaht, how many does Hillman Tok University have?
I'd say fun, for sure. Yeah, that's the only one I can say definitively.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can say as well. Fun. I don't see where there are supportive relationships. I don't see opportunities for recognition. I don't see opportunities and expectations. I don't see a safe and positive environment. But that doesn't mean that this thing is worthless. What this does remind me of, though, Sweethaht, you can let this go. What this does remind me of, after the Supreme Court ruling, after reviewing everything, it reminds me of, everybody know Tasty? Mm-hmm. Tasty is that social media platform that constantly posts recipes of different like outlandish food from time to time, but you could also get like lasagna and shrimp linguine and all that type of shit, right? Mm-hmm. Hillman Tok University reminds me of Tasty, because every time I go to try to remember a Tasty dish, I got to go back to Tasty to figure it out. Yeah. It does not leave an impact. It does not leave an impression. What it does, it just gives me a quick recipe on how to handle this particular problem in front of me. You realize you don't actually remember TikTok recipes. You don't remember YouTube tutorials. Every time that you go through them, you got to go back to them to repeat the process. That's what Hillman Tok University reminds me of. And so then it begs the question, Sweethaht, is entertainment more valuable than academia? Because there is another platform that's been out for like 6-7 years now, like 5-6-7 years now. Narrative. Mm-hmm. Narrative is this exact same thing, except it does not happen on social media. You do have opportunities for recognition. You do have expectations. You do have fun. You do have a safe, positive environment, because if you start talking crazy on narrative, they'll put you out. And on top of that, there is a barrier of sincerity. If you're going to post on narrative, know that, what's the preacher who was Obama's preacher? Jeremiah Wright. Know that Jeremiah Wright is your audience and will comment and correct you. I don't think that's happening on Hillman Tok. But yet, they get the Essence articles, they get the trending topics, they get the recognition from the young folks, 300 million plus engagements. I don't know if in the history of narrative they've had 300 million plus engagements. So that's what I'll leave with you, sweetheart. I'll leave you with the question, is entertainment more valuable than academics? Do we need this Hillman Tok? Should these individuals be on narrative? Or would that be inappropriate? What are your thoughts?
I think there's a place for fun, entertainment, and academia. Mm-hmm. But I'm a little torn. Like I see your point on the notion that it's dangerous, but it's also a revolutionary thing. So
are you signing up for Hillman Tok?
No, personally.
Why not?
Well, I don't want to be on TikTok. No.
True.
Yeah.
That's also a big complaint that I'm saying for people, is that I don't know if I really want to be on TikTok. Yeah. Do I have to be on the platform to be a participant in this revolutionary thing?
Right.
Now the negative thing about narrative, it is $200 a year.
That's what I was gonna say. There's barriers to entry for
there narrative. Are barriers to entry. It's not free. But maybe that barrier of entry is what keeps it sincere.
True.
Because you can't come on here playing.
And you know that everybody who's there wants to be there.
Right. You got any comments, sweetheart?
TJ says, yeah, go and throw all that away.
I don't know if we need to. It's
I think we got a new subscriber.
Huh?
I think we got a new subscriber.
Who we got?
A little thing.
A word? Nice. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome. Announce yourself once you come on in.
Felix.
Oh, it's Felix.
Oh, hey.
What's up, Felix? Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome. You can see my whole self instead of just the Instagram. We having trouble with the Instagram. Is it still down?
Yeah.
All right, for sure. All right, here's what we'll do. We got more comments. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. Shamiko waved and said,
Coco Chanel.
Hey, I must have been commenting over on Facebook.
You know, we can't see the Facebook comments for some reason.
Yeah. And then she says, the founder has allegedly been pushed out of Hillman Tok.
What?
That's crazy. What?
How? I know how. And now I feel bad for the young lady. I know how. The young lady is a 6th grade middle school math teacher, I think.
Okay.
And the hashtag started off as TikTok University. Mm-hmm. And that was started by a professor in North Carolina.
Okay.
This young lady, I believe, has just been organizing these classes and created like a course list. But I don't know how much credit she would take in organizing the situation and renaming it Hillman Tok University when it's been built on the TikTok University situation. And there is also another flaw in the logic of Hillman Tok University. They are presenting it as if this is the first time there has been digital courses around blackness online when this has been happening on YouTube.
Right.
Now, it might be in long form.
Mm-hmm.
It might be in long form, even in time. Long form in visual aspect and also in actual time. But it has already been happening. I'm just not down with the Hillman part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. That's the last comment?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's do this. Shamiko said she heard the ding. Let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to roll this blunt. We're going to watch my man Joe Law and his video HTF. Shout out to my man Joe. Shout out to my man Suave. Definitely need to hear some comments on the video. We'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can get our Instagram to work while I roll this blunt. In the 2 minutes and 20 seconds, y'all got to make our videos longer. What happened to the Michael Jackson 9-minute video? Huh? We'll We'll be right back with more Wake and Bake with BeMo.
That takes money.
It does.
That's Michael Jackson money.
And that is Michael Jackson money. You got a good point there, sweetheart. Very true. Let me shut my whole ass mouth. Go ahead and play the video. Let's see. We'll be right back with more Wake and Bake with BeMo. Yeah.
Hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah. I just hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah. Like a runner 400. Like a runner 400. Yeah. I just hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah. Come back here, motherfucker. Hey, how y'all doing? My name's Joe. You know what I'm saying? I make music. Hey, is that weed? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I get some of that shit. I appreciate it. Hey, yo.
Shit. Go ahead.
You have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
I just hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah. I just hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah. Like a running 400. Like a running 400. Yeah. I just hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah. Yeah. It was more than me than money. I forget you blowing money. I just hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah. I just hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah. Like a runner 400. Like a runner 400. Yeah. I just hit the flow running. I just hit the flow running. Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Oh, you got it. Oh, you got it. You got it. Go on and whip it on me. Just real quick. Don't you ever in your natural ass life disrespect Kenneth Babyface Edmonds again. I swear to God. I'll come to LA and slap the shit out you myself. You what?
Yeah, that was wild.
You gonna disregard, quite possibly, the closest replacement to Quincy Jones that we have for that little white girl? Associated Press, AP News, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Babyface? Let me tell you something. I'm just making up a stat here. 12% of all millennial black folks have been conceived to Babyface or around a Babyface event. Am I lying? No. No, I ain't lying. Don't you ever disrespect Babyface again.
And aside from it being Babyface, that was just hella disrespectful. Like to do to a person. Like, yeah. This man is talking.
And you talking about something.
Right.
Is that somebody else I'd rather talk to?
Right.
You rude motherfucker. You got some nerve. Oh. Get my pressure back down. Got some nerve. I wasn't even trying to watch the Grammys for real. I wasn't even trying to be. I mean, some funny things that happened at the Grammys though. A Canadian tuxedo. Yeah. A Canadian tuxedo for real, Kendrick.
Taylor Swift being drunk and dancing in the kitchen.
She was drunk. That's what it was.
Yeah,
but she was being like a little drunk little white girl. That's exactly what she was acting like. She had her empty
glass up.
Oh God.
Standing up with Kendrick one.
Oh God. I wonder if everybody don't like Drake. Have I told the people what I think my Drake return strategies be?
I don't know.
Here's the perfect plan for Aubrey Graham. Perfect plan. Instead of coming back to the music industry, okay, because I know he done put out 15 songs that nobody paid attention to. Instead of trying to come back at Kendrick Lamar or Pusha T or Meek Mill, Drake should join the cast of Saturday Night Live. He should just go ahead and jump into the actor bag. He can use his musicianship like they did with the Dick in the Box people. He can use that same lane. It's a win-win for everybody. SNL need the boost. Mm-hmm. Drake need the boost. And they're not going to boo him in New York. You know what I mean? They're not going to boo him on stage.
He's been acting like a decade, maybe more.
Right. He's been acting this character of Drake. Go ahead and put Aubrey Graham on SNL. And I'm not talking about no guest appearance. No. His name should be right before Keenan's on the cast list. Not even a topic. I don't even want to talk about it for real. All right. Okay. We've been having conversations since last Thursday, last Tuesdays about the fall of DEI. It has been very prevalent in our conversations, been very prevalent on the news. There's a huge dog whistle about how DEI is really just a replacement for blackness, and how, people are blaming black for these things that are happening in society because it is coming from the president, when in actuality it's just a chance to try to attack black folks. So we've been having these conversations about blackness. You know that one of my predictions for 2025 is that black people will be running towards each other and looking for community, looking for safety, looking for those moments for impact. To be honest with you, those are the 5 pieces of things we'll be looking for within each other. And I'm saying that to say because I have confused myself. I am a little bewildered, and I could use the help of the Wake and Bake with BeMo nights. The video I want to play, similar to Hillman Tok, makes me feel a little funny. And I'm wondering, am I off here? Or is the internet's newest sensation really have a motivational point about how we should be helping each other? Sweetheart, if you don't mind. I don't know why I said it like that. But if you don't mind, sweetheart, I played a video by Dr. Bryant talking about that little girl in the airplane.
As black people, and I'm calling out everybody black, we have to create our own black privilege. We have to. It's non-negotiable. What does that look like? I was on a plane sitting first class. There was a little girl walked by me, she had a backpack on. She was so adorable, and she just kept staring at me. And I said, "You are so pretty." And she goes, right, she looked away. I said, "No, you are so pretty." And then I heard her ask her mom, like, about me sitting up front, right? What that means. Her mom said, "Oh, that's first class." And she said, "Mommy, why we can't sit here?" So they're having this quiet conversation. Right. They get in their seat. I told the stewardess, "Go get that little girl." She said, "Which one?" The little girl that walked by me. She went and got the little girl. I said, "Listen, you have my seat if the mom's okay with it." The mom was like, "Absolutely." So I said, "She has my seat. Whatever she wants, order it." But my point is, I created black privilege with that. We have to start to create that. White people only have white privilege because they privilege their people. We have to start seeing our black people and privilege them. Yeah. We have to do that. That is something I'm calling out every black person to do. If you got a penny or if you got $1 million, figure out once a day what black person you can privilege. I don't care if it's your neighbor or if it's a family member. Please do that.
So can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. If the little girl was ugly, would she have gave it a seat? If the little girl wasn't pretty, would she have gave it a seat, sweetheart?
I don't know.
You think there was another little girl that was also on that plane too? That probably walked past her? If it was a little boy, would she have gave him a seat? If it was me, would she have gave me her seat?
These are all fair questions.
She asked the question at the end. She makes the point at the end. She says, white privilege is only happening because white people privilege each other. Is that true?
I feel like yes, but there's far more context behind it.
So are white people more communal than black folks? Because if that were true, that would mean that white people participate in community at a higher rate than black people. If white people have privilege because if the only reason white people have privilege is because they privilege each other, and black people don't have privilege because we don't give each other first class seats to pretty little black girls, does that mean that white people, with her logic, does that mean that white people are more communal than black folks? And I hope I'm not saying this with a little snark, because funny enough, I had a black political philosophies teacher who said the same thing all the time. He would say white people are far more communal than black folks. And it never sat right with me because I never thought that to be true. Is there a system dedicated to push white people? Yes. Is that system built only on white people supporting each other? No. The Frank B. Wilkerson in me, the Afro pessimist in me, says that's not how white privilege works. White privilege works by suppressing black people. Right. There is no elevation because you are white. There is only degradation of others so that you can, if I have to stand, if I have to kneel so that you can be tall.
That's what the privilege is.
That's what the privilege is. The privilege is not power. The privilege is not community. The privilege isn't even skill. I would say the privilege itself is to demarginalize or marginalize other people. Mm-hmm. And so when she asked the question, she says, we must set, so okay, let's take her definition and let's use it as a working definition for a possible new blueprint that she could be building. I don't know. And it's going to get a little more complicated when we talk about our next subject of me being in the club. But when we talk about, when she says at the end, she says, we must privilege each other. And then I asked you the question, would she give me her seat? She's more privileged than I am. Right. I couldn't afford no first class ticket. I'm pretty, kind of. What you think? You think I'm pretty? Yeah. No, thanks, sweetheart. I appreciate it. I'm pretty. But what is the juxtaposition of power? What is the requirement for the dissemination of power amongst black folks? And then lastly, sweetheart, I got to ask the question. And it might seem a little harsh, but I really want you to answer this question as honest as possible. You know what? This is going to be a hard question, so I'm going to light the blunt. I really want you to answer this question to the best of your ability. And know that I don't like to critique the behavior of black women. It's not something I enjoy. But I got to ask you a very important question. We heard Dr. Bryant talk about giving her first class seat to a child to create black privilege. We heard her definition of how privilege is created. Sweetheart, this lady full of shit, ain't she? I'm asking you a genuine. Let me ask you a better question. Is this lady full of shit? Does she believe what she's saying, or was this a moment for to be like, oh, I did something for my people, look at me type situation? Does she really believe that this is how privilege is created, or is she creating an antidote to make herself seem like she can provide privilege?
Probably the latter. Creating an antidote.
You think it happened?
Before I actually saw the clip and just heard it, I was like, this didn't happen.
But now that you've seen the clip, do you think it really happened?
She was kind of believable.
She's kind of believable? Okay, Okay, so to answer me this question. How do we create black privilege? It's a trick question. How do we create black privilege?
Do you have the answer?
Wouldn't it be to suppress white people? Wouldn't black privilege be the suppression of white people or other people? So wouldn't black privilege be like degrading migrants? Wouldn't it be like culturally appropriating different people and different cultures? Wouldn't it be acting of whiteness? In this situation, wouldn't creating black privilege have been Dr. Bryant buying a white person's seat and be like, you take your ass back to coach?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been a black privilege? So then the follow-up question is, do we want black privilege? Are we trying to create a system in which we can stand tall because we make others kneel? It goes back to the same question of not only can black folks be racist, do we want to be racist?
Right.
Do we want to succumb to this power dynamic? This social caste system? We got any comments? Or what are your thoughts? I mean, to answer those questions, are we trying? Is the creation of black privilege even necessary? Is that the pathway to liberation? Black privilege, suppressing others. Are white people liberated because of white privilege?
No. But I'm just thinking, do we want to become our oppressors, or who our oppressors are?
I mean, according to Dr. Bryant.
I don't think that's who we are.
We got any comments? Who we got in the house? I seen the little bubbles popping up. Who we got in the house?
Over here?
Yeah.
We got Jada.
Jada!
Hey. She says pretty privilege and she's a child.
So no, she's not giving me her seat, huh, Jada? Damn. Will she give Jada her seat?
That's a good question. Oh, there are more comments from before. Jada said, that's smart. He could definitely go into acting, even making skits about the beef. Talking about
I'm saying. Yeah. I should write him a letter. You could do a skit about she said do a skit about the beef?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do a skit about the beef and that'd be the end of it.
Right.
We all laugh at it and now you're just on the, not special guest. I need you on the cast for a season. You ain't doing nothing else.
Damn.
Drake, what else you doing? Oh, you're raising your boy. Get you an apartment in Manhattan and raise your boy. Go ahead, yeah.
Shamiko says, Shawty lost that job. LOL.
What Shawty? The AP girl? As well she should have. As well. Do you know who you disrespect? I don't think she knew. I think she knew was Babyface and she knew like the name of Babyface, but come on, girl. That's
Even
Babyface.
Then, I feel like she didn't really know for real because when she apologized, she was like, oh, I love Babyface, as we all do. Like, all right, girl.
You don't know Babyface invented the S girl. That's what you don't know. You don't know that.
Shamiko says, so it was pretty privilege is what you're saying. Jordan says, oh man, that's cute, but that's not how privilege works, I don't think.
I'm reminded of a quote from one of my favorite TV shows as a child, Two Stupid Dogs. To Jordan's point, it's cute, but it's wrong. It's mad cute. You created a moment for that little girl, but what moment did you really create?
Right.
Because of the question the little girl was asking her mother before she walked away was, how come we can't sit in first class? And the response from her mother is because we're not economically there. And then you put her in this situation. What type of precedent are you setting?
Right.
What type of expectations are you setting? I know we all want to, it's like, oh God, when I was working for After School All-Stars, I just remember this. We would take the kids from Stuart Hobson Middle School and Hart Middle School, who were these like all black kids, and we would take them downtown to a law office called Proskauer, and Proskauer represented like world leaders, and they would take them into this big corporate like boardroom, and to my old ass, it was like a moment of succession. That's what it was. It's like 35th floor type situation. You overlooking the city. All you could just tell is money. It's marble everywhere. And these kids would be sitting there and like, what the fuck is this? You know where I'd rather be? No bullshit. One of the students from Hart told me one time, I'd rather be at the carryout right now. And I'm like, I agree with you. This ain't your world.
Right.
Why would you, even if you had the resources to be here, you wouldn't want it to look like this. Right. I don't know. Keep going.
Well, they did something like that to a group of, like, me and a few other girls when I was in high school.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. Took us, like, to the top floor of the building. Yeah.
So you've been the little girl. So tell me, what did that do for you?
It was cool to see the other side, but I was like, yeah, what would get me in this room? You know what I mean? Like, this was probably the only time I'm going to be in a room like this. It just felt, I don't know, it was weird. And then I think we had to write letters or something, and we had to read it, and like they served us lunch and like gave us a tour, and it's like, what is this even for? Because nothing came of it.
If you've seen the latest episode of Abbott Elementary with them at that golf course, that's exactly what that is.
Exactly.
We used to do those moments all the time, and this gets to the core of why I don't like nonprofits. We would use these moments to appease white guilt for 20, 30, 50, 100 grand at a time. We're not solving issues here. We are prescribing pain medicine for white guilt.
Right.
Mm.
Shamiko says, I think
Who said this?
Shamiko. I think it's about entitled behavior, not community. I was at a birthday party with my little, and a white father opened a private party door to a slide for all the kids that myself and other parents of color respected the sign and told the kids no. Sav says the nervous laugh.
What up, Sav? Oh, your nervous laugh?
Yeah.
Why you don't want to talk about Dr. Bryant?
The OK Household says, there's no door that is closed for the whites that I've seen, Shamiko. That's true.
Damn.
Shamiko says, what Dr. Bryant did was exposure. She exposed that young lady to a new experience that her mother currently was unable. And then talking to Owen and Kayla, she says, it was awkward watching my kid join their friends on the slide, and then another little black classmate came and looked up like, wait, we're allowed over there now? Damn. At the party is wild.
The party is wild.
Okay.
The slide.
Okay, House says, does privilege exist in societies that promote equity? And then what are you supposed to say to the child about acknowledging signs and respecting boundaries?
I don't know. That's interesting. I don't have no kids. You know, people don't know nothing about raising no babies. I don't know nothing about raising no babies, man. I don't know what I'd say to my kid at that moment. If the stewardess came to the back of the plane and was like, oh, this lady wants you to give you her... What is the conversation between the mom and Dr. Bryant in the back of the plane? Because if Dr. Bryant is not trying to put the mom on, what we doing here? If Dr. Bryant got all this money for first class, can she get a job? Can I get a shout out?
Right.
That's why I don't think the story happened. But keep going.
Sam says, I just want to say, y'all like my kids' Tom Joyner morning show. They asked me to put on Uncle BeMo.
We made it! Yeah, that's the second science we are. Today is the series finale of Wake and Bake with BeMo. I just want everybody to know. We have competition. And I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. And if Sav's kids are telling her to put on BeMo, I'm good. I'm satisfied. What else we need?
Jada says she probably wouldn't give me her seat. LOL, but privilege isn't just about race. It's about class, so she gonna have to do better than that. Right. Emlet says, all she did was remind me I was poor.
Yeah. Damn.
Right. Oh, and the OK Household says, peace and greetings, family, with the hands.
What up, household? Okay. I want you to know I spelled that Owekay, right?
Oh, that's great. That's
right?
great.
That's how I spell it. Okay.
Micah says, I'm late.
Because you're more than letters to me, okay?
Micah says, I'm late. Good morning.
Good morning, Micah. What's up, man?
Shamiko says, my middle school gym teacher had us have pen pals at a private school about an hour away. Then we took a trip to their school and they came to ours. I remember the disparities between schools.
Man, I always want... if it goes both ways, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because the private school kids should see your school. Because it's not when they're going to see it. When they're going to see it with the empathetic eyes of a child.
Right.
So that when they're grown, it's not just the ghetto. No, I had my man's Michael went to school over here. He was smart as hell.
Right.
Situations be situations. That's pretty cool.
And then Shamiko says, also, putting a child in first class alone without their guardian is mad weird. Right? Which is why I feel like maybe this story didn't happen.
I don't think
Like,
it's happened. But you know what? It's cool. Okay. That's the regular okay that time.
Yeah.
All right. I was in the club. Sweetheart, put up the video. I was in the club, y'all. I was in the club.
Fly as hell. I've never seen that.
I was in the club when I had a revelation, sweetheart. We're going to do a more sophisticated write-up on the new Blueprint newsletter, which you can always check out for $5 a month. Make sure you go to bmobrown.substack.com. I'm going to do a more complicated write-up on the newsletter. But that clip has 1 million views.
damn.
That clip of some black folks doing the electric slide, except when they go down, they pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That clip almost has 1 million views. Sweetheart, we have recorded, I think, over 200 episodes of Wake and Bake with BeMo. We have created over, I think like 250 clips distributed through 3 different platforms. And in total, we might have 100,000 views. Maybe. But this clip of me screaming in excitement to a new version of the electric slide has almost 1 million views. Sweetheart, I think I'm in the midst of a existential crisis. Because for the last, I'd say, 3 years, we've been trying to destroy the black excellence crowd. We have been trying to stomp out black excellence. We have been picking apart. We have been pulling apart. We have been trying to find the liberated moments that can happen to pull out the black excellence crowd from this understanding of black excellence. You and I have come to the understanding that black excellence is just an attempt at capitalism to keep you in your place. Black excellence is just code for the perfect migrant, the perfect minority. When in actuality, you could be perfect and you're still gonna be in the same position. You could be imperfect and you're still gonna be in the same position. We're not looking for excellence. Or as Dave Chappelle says, I'm proud of any person, any nigga who survives this goddamn nightmare. That's why we have been trying to tear apart black excellence. But my man's called me about 2 months ago and he said, BeMo, you know, I do my Black Excellence Gala every year. BeMo, you know we got the Melanin Con thing going on. Do you mind hosting this event? And to my credit, sweetheart, just to be fair, when he asked me to host the royalty event, knowing that he knows me, I thought maybe it was a panel. Maybe we'd be having a conversation, a tete-a-tete, if you will. Maybe we'd be in parlor. Maybe we'd even have a saloon, if you can. But when he sent me the flyer, and it was obviously the club flyer, I said, uh-oh. What have I done? And for the month, I contemplated a series of ailments. Oh, my tummy hurts. Oh, I twisted my ankle. Oh, I'm actually going to be out of town. Oh, I can't do it. I tried to find every excuse possible, and I tried to find an excuse until I left out the door, sweetheart. What's the last thing I said when I left out the door? I think I'm making a mistake. And the lady in the house asked me, what kind of mistake are you making? And I said, I don't know if I should be lending. I said this out my mouth. I don't know if I should be lending my brand to the Black excellence crowd. But I went to the club and I saw the grass walls. I ain't been to the club since, I don't think I've been to the club since Blaine was single and his daughter turning 6 this year. He been married for like 8 years, I think now. I ain't been to the club since Blaine was single. And I went to the club and there are a series of revelations and reactions that I have to modern club culture. But above all, I noticed when I saw the doorman, when I saw the other host who was a host for a radio station, 106 Lit, when I'm seeing the individuals come in their gear and they're talking to each other and they're having their conversations about the big girl who couldn't get into the lift or the dangers not having Black History Month, I had a revelation. And I realized that my mistake wasn't the mistake that I thought it was. It wasn't the mistake of maybe I shouldn't be lending my brand to the Black excellence crowd. My mistake, in which I have kind of been very hesitant to even talk this morning, the biggest mistake that I have made over the last 3 years is assuming that there is a Black excellence crowd. For the past 3 years, we have been picking apart. We have been using books. We have been using quotes from ancestors and academia. We have been using intelligence to distance ourselves from our own people. And when we do the math, if we said that merit, excellence, and intelligence were the new systems of whiteness, that means we were using one system of whiteness to separate the Black versions of ourselves and another system of whiteness. Does that sound like community to you? Does that sound like liberation to you? And I had to see 65 Black women who came alone sing at the top of their voice the whole song, How Did You Get Here by Deborah Cox. I had to see those individuals in person. I had to feel the vibrations of the Tamia two-step to see that these people, not only is it unfair to challenge them on an intellectual level about their participation in Black excellence, knowing that support is a spectrum, knowing that we don't have choices, knowing that this Black excellence disease is something that we do to protect ourselves, is it fair to then separate them from their Blackness in order to do so? Why do I have to create a privilege that we are above Black excellence in order to feel like I have significance amongst this Black thing? What is that? Are those the traces of the whiteness in my blood? Is that my great-great-grandma? Get out of here, Carol.
Oh, wow.
But I had to see these individuals and recognize, like, wait a minute, maybe these individuals, like me, have to participate in certain systems in order for them to feel safe. I still don't give no props to Casanat because he a whole bitch. But maybe these individuals, these regular folks, like me, regular folks, these everyday people, maybe they aren't actively participating in Black excellence. And maybe they're just doing what they need in order to survive this very white world. Then I started to look around and I noticed something that I'm pretty sure everybody who's been in public situations has noticed before. There are a lot of individuals now. People didn't come in packs of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Packs of 2, packs of 1. Individuals sitting at their tables on their phone, capturing content. And so then it made me realize that maybe this ain't even a crowd. So what exactly have we been attacking? And in the midst of that, and I'm seeing this 1 million viewed reel after we've had 250 clips of what I thought would be revolutionary, educational, self-improving, inspiring. I thought our revelation of the white N-word would be the one that take us to the Peabodys. When in actuality, all it took was a little two-step, a little electric slide. So how can we apply that to meeting each other in context? That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. I had to go touch some grass walls to be reconnected with the reality of the people that we are trying to reach. They low-key want Popeyes and Don Julio. They want the frozen margarita in the Patron bottle. They want the $40 grits and shrimp with the 6 pieces of shrimp. They want to listen to the same songs from 2014. Using our intelligence to separate ourselves from that does not breed liberation, does not breed community. It breeds the same thing that the entire system breeds, which is division, distraction. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on my revelation in the club? And do you want to come to the club with me on Saturday?
What?
I don't know. I'm not going back to the club. It's not my time. Not my kind of time. Pass me the lighter.
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing this because you didn't tell me all of that about your experience. It's an interesting perspective. I could see that. Yeah.
You can see going to the club with me?
No, what you were saying.
What's that?
The separation
Yeah,
from the Black excellence thing.
Yeah. I think I've made a grave mistake. Because here's what happens. And all love to the Wake and Bake with B1 Night. But here's what happens. We're like episode 16 this season. Around this part of the season, we start to see a stabilization of what our community will be, right? So in season 0, it's probably about 25. It's about 25 people that we are expecting to see within a certain time. Throughout the seasons, that number has fluctuated. And around episode 16, when I start making clips for like episode 9, I start to wonder, are we too smart? Are we building upon too many previous conversations to allow new people into the conversation? And if it applied that math to what I learned at the club, what that mean we need to do? Do we need to cha-cha slide every morning? What does the cha-cha slide look like on this type of show?
Well, I think my question to you is, what is your end goal?
For this show?
Yeah.
Tom Joyner. Well, my end goal has already been solved. People are already stealing our aesthetic. And Sav's kids were like, yeah, put BeMo on. I'm good. But no, on a serious note, like the idea is to try to get this format of show to as many people as possible to have an impact.
Okay.
So with that being said, what is our cha-cha slide? What do we do? What do you think? Do we need to go into a private brainstorm?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
You got some comments.
Okay, what we got? Who we got?
Let's see. Jordan says privilege is not tokenism. And then, wait, is this really the season finale?
No. It's the series finale, okay? I'm satisfied. No, it's not. We're not done. We're not done.
Imlet says, I just don't want to be in the club and worry about my safety, so I'll be in that space. Right. People be wildin'. Shamiko says, not touch some grass walls. And Jada said, had to touch some grass walls.
You talking about people be wilding with the safety part?
Yeah, like in the club and just that environment.
I have to think more on that. Obviously, as a man, that's not the first thing that came to my mind was safety. I never felt unsafe, but as I'm thinking about some particular moments that happened in the club, I don't want to say they were outright violations, but they were uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was club behavior happening in the club. Interesting. Okay. That's the last comment?
We just had one come in. Kendall said, don't tell me I slept on the season finale.
Wait, say what?
Nothing. Okay, Household says the same way they need space for that activity, there needs to be space for this activity, but how do we get people from both activities to connect, share space in real life?
Yeah.
Emlet says people have not been taught to think critically, especially black culture, so you got some high-level thinking topics.
That's what I'm saying. So what's the Cupid shuffle of the thinking topics?
Shamiko says impact doesn't always mean volume though. Like they always tell teachers, if you can touch one kid. I understand wanting to grow, but what if growth doesn't mean more people? That's true. That's a good point.
Oh man. All right. All right. All right, Sweethaht. You know what time it is. It's time for the burning. What's up? I ignore the question. Oh, man. Burning question for the Roach. Burning question for the Roach. Yeah. Burning question for the Roach. Yeah! All right, Sweethaht. Hit me with the, matter of fact, hit me with the gas first, and then hit me with the burning question for the Roach. I'm ready. Oh, I'm so excited. Is it a good one?
I think so.
Will I get a spicy answer? Is the answer going to make me cry?
Maybe not cry.
Okay. Is it going to get me upset?
Possibly.
Okay,
maybe.
for sure.
Maybe not. Do you think a post-racial America is even possible in light of our country's history? No? You don't want this one?
No, it's fine. I'm disappointed in the I'm not disappointed in the question. Here's my reaction. When you say post-racial society, the first thing I think about is when Obama was elected president. People were asking, were we in a post-racial society? And the answer then was like it was no, but it was nuanced. It was no in the sense of course we're not past, of course we're not in a post-racial society because police brutality is still up. The crime rate or the crime disproportional rate, the crime rate is still too disproportional. The wage gap is still too high. There are reasons why, systemic laws and reasons and systems why black folks still aren't able to reach the same amount of wealth. And then even after the post-racial society, we saw the housing collapse, which incredibly disproportionately affected black folks who were buying homes while Obama was president, while Clinton was president and while Obama was president. Sorry for the president talk. So when you say post-racial society, I think about that time. And my disappointment is it went from a nuanced no, and I'd say nuanced like at the very edge of nuance. It went from a nuanced no, we're not in a post-racial society to here are the stats to when you asked me the question just now, it's an obvious no.
Yeah.
We went backwards.
Right.
It got worse. When we see attacks on DEI and we use those languages as cover language for saying that minority people cannot be qualified for certain positions, and then we see the increase of the wage gap, when we see that black and brown people are being moved out of this country, whether legally or illegally, based on just their brownness, we know we're not in a post-racial society. Like, we know it. Yeah. We get the breaking news reports. It's trending topics at this point. Oh, here's another example of why race still matters. Here's another example of why race still matters. Here's another example of why race still matters. It happens like 3-4 times a day. So what's the question? I'm disappointed at post-racial. Remind me of the question.
Do you think a post-racial America is even possible?
Are you crazy?
In light of our country's history.
Do I think it's possible? I don't know. Let me light the roach. Do I think it's possible? It feels like if you got dumped and immediately dumped, you start trying to think about your next girlfriend. Will you date again? I mean, yeah, probably. So yeah, to answer your question, I mean, yeah, probably. But it's really hard to think about it while I'm currently getting punched in the face. It's hard to think about if a post-racial society is even possible while the present racial society is whipping my ass. You think it's possible? Wow. Oh, I thought that was your answer.
Not really. Yeah, we definitely went backwards. So.
What would it take? Maybe it's one of those darkest before dawn situations. What would it take? I'm seeing videos. Tyrese ironically posted this video of who might be a Paul Roach and Negro of the Week nominee. We'll see how we get to on Thursday. But it's this white man. That's a crazy combination of words. Paul Roach and Negro of the Week, white man. But this white man convincing other white people that they're not white.
Yeah.
And then goes into a media conversation of if we're not white, we're these things, then we're actually all just a collection of minorities. We're all just a collection of minorities, which means we're all on the same side, which means the laws that affect them affect us. So when DEI goes out the window and we see a sharp decline in white jobs, that shouldn't be a surprise because we're not white. So maybe it's one of those situations where white people are about to wake up, and if they do wake up, then we might enter a post-racial society. But I don't know. Yeah.
We got a few comments.
What we got?
Okay, Household says Cha-Cha Slide is relationship and dating. And then Natalie says, I think the segments are the Cha-Cha Slide.
The segments are the Cha-Cha Slides?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Black in the Day news,
yeah.
The Paul Roach and Negro of the Week. That's what I thought.
Yeah, right?
But is it too much? They make a good, the OK House does make a good point, like relationship talk. I'm so bad at it though. I'm so bad. If you just go check the replies. I'm always on the losing side of relationship talks on social media. Always.
Jordan says, bring back the DKA.
Oh, the Dumb Nigga Association. That's right. DKA. We can't read. Anyway.
Kendall says, just one idea. Get a business loan. Put that money into paying for a guest. Would bring eyes, and then use the rest of the money to strategically market.
Who would be a guest that I would get a loan for? Boosie? That's an interesting question. We'll write that down. Huh. A guest I'd pay for. They have to be good. That's not.
Yeah. Jada says guest interviews would be dope.
And where they gonna sit? And where they gonna sit? And where they gonna sit, ma'am?
Oh man.
Come on, man. Y'all can't come to the ghetto. We can't have guests. We can't have guests on the show until we get to a place that we moved up out of here. That's a different show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Oh, that is a different show.
It's a different show.
True.
And I sold it already.
You sold the show?
Not really.
Okay. Shamiko says, you don't got to do dating and relationship talk. Like you said, people are copying your style now. Sometimes being on the forefront feels like you're missing the mark.
True. Do I see Dr. Umar right there? Yeah. Oh, absolutely not.
Why not?
Dr. Umar? Oh, my God, man. Oh, my God.
Jada says, not boozy.
Not boozy?
Why you not fucking with Dr. Umar?
Oh, man. That's hilarious, though. Maybe. All right, y'all. We want to thank y'all for watching another episode of Who Wake and Bake with BeMo. Yeah. We want to thank the Washington Informer Bridge. Appreciate y'all. WIBridgeDC.com or at WIBridgeDC on all social media platforms. Make sure you go check out the new Blueprint newsletter. We got a new issue coming out. Recently, I had to go touch grass walls to get in touch with my reality. Make sure y'all go check that out. BeMoBrown.substack.com. Appreciate my man Trevor. Shout out to my guy Joe Law. Make sure you go check out HTF. We're going to leave you with my man Detroit Rivers, that Black Boy Joy, because for us. Y'all have a good day, okay? Have a good Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's been a weird day, okay? Because I've had this revelation that maybe I was wrong for the last 3 years. And I just thrown my community away on the guise of intelligence. So I'm having a hard time even putting together words.
Interesting.
It's very weird moments in my head right now. Very strange moments. You put that on top of like crippling lacks of confident moments, a little sadness from time to time, and it being a little cold, although it's going to be 50 today. You get a weird combination of people, and you got to throw a little hope in there, got to throw a little resilience in there, and then we just finished talking about all this black stuff. Then we found out that we might both be allergic to jasmine. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
You too?
Yeah, that's why I had my face in the hoodie. I was struggling. My eyes was watering. Face was itchy. I'm like, damn. Happy Black History Month, dog. Happy Black History Month. We'll see y'all on Thursday for the Paul Robeson Negro of the Week. Would it be wild to have a white man as the first Paul Robeson Negro of the Week in Black History Month? Find out on Thursday.
Don't let this feeling slip away. Your city, yeah, happy feelings. Frank and Beverly, and man, don't be amazed. Find yourself, learn your joys and pains. Live your voice and sing. The sounds of your heart, don't you worry about a thing. And don't forget your lyrics. This is a reminder of joy every time you hear it. Just verify this joy. Smile, you get very contagious once you share it. Let love loose, don't fear it. Just that black boy joy.
Black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy, get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy, say it again one more time. Get this black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy, get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy, say it again. Where I was raised, black boys was being destroyed. I grew up a black boy, they had stole my joy. Nobody put on my neck, so I do it for Floyd. Do it for Tamir Rice and for the underemployed. For the ones that gave back, communicated, deployed. I wanna give you a rope so that you can aboard. I wanna give you a hope so that you can avoid having to be a black man without no black boy joy. So get this black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy, get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy, say it again one more time. Get this black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy, get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy, say it again. For us, it's easier to go to jail than to go to college. Rather us be entertainers than be getting knowledge. They funded our own genocide. The word is power. Killing niggas in every song. I think it's coward. Easier to act tough when you in doubt because cause the world incriminates us. Cause we in down, are we afraid of our own kind? And it's really wild. I think they got us backwards, but I figured out it's easier to fit in than it is to stand out. So I'm Black Boy Joy when I'm cruising around, and I'm Black Boy Joy fresh hitting the town, and I'm Black Boy Joy dancing, cleaning the house, and I'm Black Boy Joy when I go for a hike. Been Black Boy Joy since I was riding a bike. My son Black Boy Joy, and that's crazy to me. I was miserable growing up, I really hated it, G. But the world is much bigger than I was able to see. So get this Black Boy Joy up on your brain. This Black Boy Joy give you some game. Black Boy Joy get up again, and Black Boy Joy do all the pain, and Black Boy Joy say it again one more time. Get this Black Boy Joy up on your brain. This Black Boy Joy give you some game. Black Boy Joy get up again, and Black Boy Joy do all the pain, and Black Boy Joy say it again. Smile.